The only thing I could think about was, okay, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? Because if he's not the owner, is this a scam?
A disabled veteran signs a lease, pays a deposit, moves into a home, only to have the man she thought was her landlord tell her she had to move out.
So frustrating, and it's because the landlord is really just a renter himself, and both of them now face eviction. Liz Owens is on your side with how not to get fooled by a sublease.
From the outside,
They have roses all around the home. It's really pretty.
to the inside,
The hardwood floors, they are beautiful.
Valencia Colon immediately fell in love with this Joseph Street home.
And I was excited because once I saw it, I was like, oh my God.
And as soon as she realized the home was one story,
He told me he owned the home.
the disabled veteran was sold.
I even mentioned to the young man that I wanted to purchase it eventually. And he said, oh, sure, that wouldn't be a problem.
On April Fool's Day, she signed the lease. 2 weeks later,
He said it was a problem with the owner of the home and him. I said, I thought you owned the home.
she hoped it all was just a bad joke.
I was frantic. I was crazy. I was like, I can't do this right now.
It wasn't a prank. 12 days before she signed the lease, the man she believed was the owner signed a lease with the real owner of the home. He never moved in. Instead, he leased it to Cologne, charging her $175 more than the owner charged him. The real owner realized a stranger was in her home after she visited the utilities department.
The only thing I could think about was, okay, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? Because if he's not the owner, is this a scam?
Subleasing is not a scam, but it usually requires the owner's consent. In this case, neither the owner or subleaser knew about each other. And now the real owner is filing eviction and warrant papers.
When you lease, you trust the person who's leasing to you, especially when they give you a contract.
I talked to the man who claimed to be the landlord. All he would say to me is that he hasn't broken the law and will have his day in court. Now, one way to avoid all of this as a renter is to do a quick property search. It will tell you the name of the homeowner. And if you're a landlord and do not want to sublease, make the wording clear in your lease agreement.
Geez, that is so frustrating. A lot of times
Can
you
you
tell us
imagine?
read between the lines, but she had a paper contract.
did.
Got to read behind those scenes of the lines.
Exactly.
Well, what is going to happen to this lady since these eviction papers?
The real landlord had met with her, and as soon as she found out she was a disabled vet, her heart went out to her and said, you can stay. They have to do the eviction process to get the other gentleman off of it, and then she can sign her own lease.
Good for her.
good.
Glad to hear that. A little bit
Very
of homework
nice
up
lady,
front will
yes.
save you a lot of headache
That's
down
right.
the road.
Jeez.
Thank you, Liz.